What's going on, everybody? How y'all feeling? My name is Ricky Denham. I'm back at it again with another video. So before I get into this video, I want to give a little bit of information about what Breaking the Cycle is. Breaking the Cycle is pretty much an organization that breaks the cycle of poison and trauma that has been ingrained into us as Black Americans. We try to just break the cycle of bad stuff that has affected us for centuries, since slavery basically, and we try to better ourselves as Black people, individually and collectively. We host events and we have these discussions about certain issues such as mental health, poverty, and relationships, which is what this video is about. This is called I Cheated on You, but I Still Love You. I got something out of it, and I hope y'all get something out of it. If y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to comment. A couple of disclaimers though. For one, this video was back in September. I was still kind of new to the camera, so the focus is gonna be kind of like in and out, but the sound is still gonna be there. Number two, and about maybe midway through the video, the camera quality is gonna look kind of different. That's because my camera died and I had to go off of my phone, but then I go back to the camera. It's not like the quality is like trash, you feel me? It's still like decent. So that's pretty much it. Shout out to Breaking the Cycle. Enjoy the video.
Back to elementary school, and I kind of don't really know how to do it, so let's see. If you can hear me, clap what? What is your definition of commitment?
Before I feel like you get to the commitment stage, commitment has to be communicated. You can't just... You can't just assume that I'm supposed to be committed to you or you're supposed to be committed to me because of a situationship. I need that communication verbatim. This is what you want, this is what I need, boom, bam.
You can have your own meaning of commitment all day, but if you didn't properly communicate it with that person, then are you really able to hold them accountable to that? So can you piggyback off exactly like, when do you think is the time to have that conversation about your version of commitment, and if you even want to be committed in the relationship?
Okay, so basically, so you know, you kind of got, you really have stages to talking to somebody or dating as you speak or whatnot. I feel like at the point where we're either hanging with each other 24/7, we can't stop texting, we can't stop, it's gotten that far. So I feel like at that point you need to let me know before you feel like I need to take you here or I need to take you there, because I'm just being honest. I'm only gonna spend money or put my time towards something that I'm really, really serious about. So most likely 9 times out of 10, people make time for what they want to do and who they want to be with. So that's when it should be communicated.
You're right. Yes, Becky.
I have a question for my brother.
But when you guys talk in the audience, can you stand up real quick and just restate your name so we all can know you better?
Hey y'all, I'm Rebecca. Everybody call me Becky. My question for you is, do you let the young lady or whoever, you let her know that she needs to let you know all of this situation? Or do you just expect her to come to you?
Well, I mean, I feel like, okay, that's a good question. I feel like though at this point in life, we are all like grown to a certain extent, so we should be able to know when. I shouldn't have to. I don't feel like I should have to babysit you and tell you when you need to tell me this.
I don't think you should assume that.
But it's not necessarily assuming if it's already like a prerequisite, so to speak.
It's a prerequisite for you.
That's
but
true.
if it's not for the other person.
You see, so what I see that you guys are saying here, this is something that is very commonly misconceived in relationships among especially the youth in where we are right now. and amongst our generation. It's the whole expectation concept. Because sometimes you be like, well, why didn't you let me know that I needed to tell you? And then somebody could say, like the Karis, he could say, well, I shouldn't let you know when you have to tell me anything. I shouldn't have to babysit you. So that just shows you that there's two different sides of it right there. So who can you really blame for being wrong when those two people can defend their point? You know, does anybody in the audience want to touch on that?
I feel like, me personally, I always tell the guy what I need and what I want, like ASAP. Like it shouldn't be a thing where, oh, he gonna say it first, I'm gonna say it first. I'm gonna say it first regardless, and then we can have that conversation. But if you don't have the capacity to communicate with me, it's not gonna work out.
Yes!
We should be grown, we should say things, but men, you know that when females tell you off rip, y'all feel like, oh, she moving too fast, she doing too much, I'm not trying to wipe her real quick. So when is it really time to say something?
What you said, you must be fucking little ass boys, and I'm grown man. In today's society now, how shit be going and shit, is either you gonna let somebody know what you want or not. I ain't got time to be playing with you and all that.
It's a grown man thing for real, because it's like, if somebody gotta be like, hold on, wait a minute, it's because they're not even really trying to commit for real. So it's like, basically what he said, you know what I'm saying, you're a grown man, so when she tell you what you want, all you gotta do is apply yourself to what she wants, and then y'all be okay.
A lot of men claim they're grown, but when are you really grown? Freshman year, he's just a freshman. Sophomore year, he's just a sophomore. Junior year, he's just a junior. Senior year, he's just a senior. When are you gonna grow up?
Oftentimes, you're not at that point of self-love or self-evaluation that you can say, I'm ready to be committed to a relationship, right? Because it took me to sit down. I was just talking to my panelist right here regarding the fact that I just got out of a 5-month relationship like a few months back, and then I had to realize I was not ready to jump back into another relationship right after, right? Because at the end of the day, I had to realize that the hurt or the previous baggage that somebody endures also comes into that new relationship, right? And also understanding the fact that one of the things that I was saying earlier is that self-love dynamic that we lack. Right? When you don't have that level of self-love for yourself, hopping into a relationship seeking after love is not going to fulfill you, right? So it's like commitment is in the essence what we all seek after, like somebody that loves us as much as we, you know what I mean? Like somebody that feel that emptiness that we oftentimes feel, but also we have to understand like it's a level of self-responsibility and self-awareness that men and women need to hold themselves accountable.
A lot of our young men out here are growing up without a father, and that means something. That really does mean something, because if you don't have an image or at least a blueprint of what to do, what you expect them to do, pull it out of their booty? Like, what's going on? And so it's like at the end of the day, for the men who do learn to be an amazing man regardless of not having a father, to the men who do learn all of those things without the things in their life, that's amazing. But let's not say that just every man should just automatically get it from day one. It'll take sometimes, maybe he got to break a few hearts. Vice versa. A lot of us women are out here messed up because of what we had to see in our home. So I just wanted to make sure that we touch on that, because it's a deeper dynamic than just, oh, niggas ain't shit, they do whatever, yeah. It's the whole dynamic behind it.
You shouldn't have to teach a black man how to be faithful. That's number one.
Why not?
Because it's like, if you want to be faithful, you have to be faithful. Piggyback off of what you said about to piggyback off of what you said about how, like, they didn't have fathers to teach them how to be men. that's only half the lesson. You still need the lesson of how a woman wants to be treated. So it shouldn't be just off of, oh, I didn't have a dad to teach me how I should treat a woman. It's about how that woman wants to be treated, and it shouldn't be that hard for you to catch on.
Black men need fathers in their lives, but I came across a nice young man who was raised with both of his parents, and he told me that his dad never taught him to hold the door open for women. And he was raised with his mother and his father. So in that breath, yes, we do need our dads, but yeah, it's definitely other factors that contribute to.
Just because you have parents don't mean that you have the perfect life.
So like, it's an excuse to continue to let misogyny and internalized misogyny and other things continue in our society, as opposed to holding people accountable for their actions. Some people know better and they still choose not to do better, so they know better. Instead of making excuses for grown ass men. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Just because you have a bad experience with one guy doesn't mean the next person will do that. And a lot of girls, and the guys too, they do the same thing. But just don't judge everybody, because you could be missing out on your blessing and think he gonna be like the last person you're talking about.
As women, or as anybody in general, we decide what we allow. So if you express your feelings to a male and automatically he doesn't cater to those needs, why do we continue to try to pursue him?
Yes.
We can't say niggas ain't shit, but you allow him to not be shit in your life.
Yes.
So,
very true.
From the beginning, he expresses that he's not going to do what you're expecting him to do.
Yes.
Leave him alone. Then you don't have to do it.
I truly do believe that if God brings somebody into your life, y'all are supposed to make each other better. Whenever y'all are with each other, even if it's not just financially better, y'all are supposed to make each other better. Like when you're with somebody, they should encourage you and inspire you to want to be better for yourself so y'all can be better for each other. Okay? That's period. What was your longest relationship and why do you think it lasted so long, or did it not last so long?
My longest relationship was for almost 3 years. I think a lot of times when we're in a relationship, the fear of not having someone, or the fear of not wanting that person to be with somebody else, or really just settling, causes us to kind of prolong a situation that you know y'all aren't grown together. Sometimes it's not always toxic. Sometimes even whenever there's situations that happens, y'all are able to move from it. But if you're still in the same place, kind of like personally, you're not growing, you know, in your career, what you need to do, what you want to do, your goals and stuff, and y'all are still with each other and y'all causing each other to be stagnant, it needs to wrap it up.
Woo! Okay, so first of all, I gotta ask this question. Is a year and a half, what is that? Is that long? Is that? Okay. I was making sure.
In young people's time, that's a long time. Right, in young people's time.
Okay. So, yeah, I was in a relationship for about a year and a half, leaving high school, and it ended, I believe, back in March, right after spring break. Moral of the story is there was no major like event that happened to cause a breakup. But no, I'm serious. It wasn't. But throughout the entire relationship, it was my best friend that I started the relationship with, and I didn't actually consider the fact that how would that end up after, you know, this or after that. So I didn't weigh the options. And so now I'm on a scale, either losing a best friend for life or not having one, or still having one. And so that was a real big decision in, I guess, the relationship process. That was the main thing holding us together, if you understand what I'm saying. Just the fact that we knew we grew up together, we knew each other, we knew everything about each other, and that's not always a good thing either. So I feel like that's what ultimately ended, you know, my relationship.
Okay.
relationship was also a year and a half, close to 2 years. I was going on 21. My boyfriend was 19. So he was, yeah.
Wait, hold on, but talk about that for a second. Like, did you feel like you was dipping in the crib, like in a baby's crib?
I did feel that way because I always felt like I was a little more mature for my age, but we had known each other for a while, and never date your coworkers, by the way. So we knew each other for a while, but the main thing that really stopped us from being together was I just didn't like how insecure he was. I'm a super confident person, and when we first got together, he was 19, so he wasn't ready, but he seemed ready to, you know, grow with me. But towards the end, I just noticed that his insecurities and his lack of, you know, ambition was just not it for me. And so
My longest relationship was 2 years. That ended right before freshman year. It lasted so long, kind of due to communication. To like what she said. Sorry about that. Sorry. It lasted so long due to communication. The reason that like it was a mutual agreement for us to not be together in the long run, due to the fact that I couldn't see myself growing like long term with her. So that's just what that was. I didn't want to cap myself, and I didn't want to cap her at the end of the day. So that's what that was.
My longest relationship was about 3 years and some change. About a couple months.
3 years.
Oh, it also was a long distance relationship. I was with a guy that was in the Army. And yeah, so that was a lot of time and commitment that was put into that relationship. We lasted so long due to communication. That was the only mode of communication that we had. We was always FaceTime or WhatsApp because he was stationed in Germany. And so we definitely did WhatsApp a lot of the time. We ended due to a situation that I had on my end. I did not cheat, however, I did get sexually assaulted I think it was probably like 2 years in. And due to me being sexually assaulted, I kind of like, I closed up and I decided not to communicate with him what happened to me. And so I used another excuse in order to cover up the situation, in order to get me out of it so that I could breathe. I could get myself together and I could, kind of revamp Jade. And what does Jade like to do? What does Jade not like to do? What does Jade like? What does she like? What does she not like? And so I really had to grow. I had to grow my own self-love in order to develop that relationship back up with him. And after I broke up with him, I communicated with him like the situation that had happened. And from there, he was really angry. And so from there, I spent a year kind of chasing him, kind of trying to figure out like, hey, like, I love you, like, please take me back. I understand, like, I lied, but, it was for my own defense. And in me chasing him back, I realized, like, what am I doing? Why am I chasing a man? Like, if he loved me, if he understood my situation, if he understood that there was nothing you could have done in order to save me from that situation, right? You could come back to me. Like, why was that an issue? So once I realized that, okay, Jay, enough is enough, things started changing and I started growing and I started developing my own self. And from there, like, that's where you see me today, very confident, very vibrant, very full of God. That was my transition in terms of finding Jade and leaving that situation to move into a better space.
My longest relationship was 5 months. It was going into my sophomore year, going into her freshman year at Duke University. It was a lot of, we had a lot of parallels, right? We were both political science majors. She was also a sociology major as well. We had a lot of parallels from New York. Did exceptionally well what she did in New York, and basically we saw each other in ways that aligned so well that we complemented each other, right? As most men and most women should look after is somebody that complements them. And I'm not quick to jump in relationships. That's why I say my longest relationship is 5 months. But when it came down to me, one of the things that it basically implemented for me was like my level of vulnerability or a level of trust in other people, right? And so me opening up to somebody else was something that was new, something that was fresh, something that I was like trying to dabble into, trying to figure out if that was the space that I like to be in. I do enjoy love, but the level of hurt that came after, right? Because it didn't end on my terms, but it came after on her time, right? And her walking away when I was already, it was like a level of, man, like he really opened up, right? I was in with a long distance relationship as well. So it was like, how am I, like I'm investing my time, investing my communication. I'm a busy person, but I'm so committed to you. I'm trying to make everything work. And if you just walk out and you say you're just not ready after 5 months, you know what I mean? It makes me think like, what about a year? You know what I mean? Like you can walk out in a year. So for me, it was like that level of when, like you never really know somebody. You know what I mean? So it was like, I didn't know if that would happen again. And I was afraid of that. So that's kind of been running, because it's still fresh, but it's not necessarily something that's a hindrance for future possibilities. But it has been something that you sit back and think about. Right? How much do you want to invest into somebody? Right? So I'm gonna stop right here.
Thank you, Emilio.
My longest relationship was about 5 years. It went like sophomore year in high school to about sophomore year, halfway through sophomore year in college. And so I'm gonna break it down to y'all, because the whole basis of it was that my sophomore year, his senior year. So sophomore year, I grew up a little bit sheltered. I'm a preacher's kid, so I was never out and about, like all of that type of stuff. So I'm a sophomore, and this like tall, light-skinned senior trying to talk to me, like, and then like he was like really like feeling me, whatever, and so we clicked very well. And so at that time, it was like a real puppy love type of situation. Like it was his first time for real, like really. Actually, no, it wasn't. No, I'll take it back. It was his first time. Seeing a young lady that he could commit back to. Like he's had girls trying to go all in, all hard for him and everything, but this was like his first time really thinking like, I think that like I could actually see this work, and that scared him. But me, I'm all puppy love, I'm head over heels, I'm late to class, we ended up in after school together one time, people calling us Bonnie and Clyde, like it was really like that type of situation. But it was really that puppy love, like really like when like we were cool, we were friends, then we got close, we got together, and then like, but he was scared by that idea of commitment. Like it really scared him to just feel so deeply about me that, you know, it's just a new feeling he's never felt before for real. So he started to fall off. He got scared, so he like cut it off, like just cut it off. And so that was the basis, that was that first year. And so he cut it off, I was in my feelings or whatever. He saw me trying to talk to somebody else, and then we got back together. So, I was in love, I did my own thing, and I got it back, and I was cool with it. But then I ended up moving. And so he still felt this type of way about me, and I still felt so strongly about him, but then it was the distance, it was just like, I grew out of it. Like it lasted a very long time, obviously 5 years, sophomore year in high school, sophomore year to college, but to make a long story short, it went on so long because we were trying to preserve those puppy love feelings we had in the beginning. Like over time, like it just got less and less of that, more arguing, more fighting. Where are you going? What you doing? Who is this on your story? When I tell y'all, the second he posted something would just tell me to go check Snapchat, and I'll go check it. He out or something, and I'm at home doing my homework. Like that's not how this works. But it was like that type of situation, and that kind of like feel like you need that type of control. It's not healthy at all. And then like the distance didn't help either. So yeah. Long story short, I grew out of it.
Okay, grew out of it.
My longest relationship was a few years.
Would you not love
Yeah, it was a few years, 3 or 4. And it kind of ended because I kind of learned how to communicate my feelings. And what I was wanting to do, I was wanting to explore, I was wanting to be out, you feel me? Like, I was wanting to see what I truly wanted. So, and when I communicated that to her, she didn't respect it. So, I had to cut it off.
People have seasons of our life. Just because they come into your life and they're great, that doesn't mean that you're going to be with that person forever. Some people are just supposed to come into your life for a certain amount of time to teach you a certain amount of things so both of y'all can be better for that next person and who God really has for you.
I was in a relationship for 8 years. For 8 years, and I ended on my terms. I ended on my terms because you can't choose how someone wants to love you. You know what I'm saying? And we all have different love languages. You know what I mean? Like, the way he gave love was either by giving gifts, spending time, vocal affirmations, and she wasn't ready for that. For me, it's more, I like affirmation. Tell me, you feel me? Tell me I'm fly. Tell me I'm cool. You know what I mean? You don't gotta buy me stuff. You don't gotta take me out. You don't gotta spend a bunch of time with me. But I like to hear from you. And at the end of the day, the way that he was giving me love, I didn't want it, and I wasn't ready for it, so I chose not to participate. So it wasn't him, it was me.
So my longest relationship was about a year and some. I'm not really sure how long it was, because it was off and on. But I should listen to all the signs. Like, you know how you should listen to your family when they tell you about somebody? I didn't listen, and that was my problem. I didn't listen to my friends, I didn't listen to my family, because I was like, I don't want to break up with them because you guys said so. I want to break up with them because it's something I see. And if I don't see it, then I'm not going to break up with him. But I should have done it. So it was like, everything would be good. I'll text him like, hey, I'm at so-and-so. I'll talk to you tonight. Everything will be good. 5 seconds later, he'll find a random post on Instagram and be like, tell me about this. And I'm like, I didn't even post it. Like, I started to pick up, this dude might actually be crazy. Like another thing was, I broke up with him because I was tired of dealing with him, and then he showed up to my house. And the problem was, I'm an actress, so I wasn't even home. I was at a rehearsal for a play. So my grandma opened the door. My grandma was like, hello, why are you here? He said, oh, I'm just looking for beautiful because I want to talk and work things out. And then he told my grandma a whole situation. I'm like, don't bring my family into our problems. This is our problems, not me, you, my grandma, and my mom. And then another thing is, he went on Instagram and he found my mom's Instagram account and messaged her saying, can you ask your daughter to call me?
We just glad that you out of that situation now. So let's let her know that she
I'm currently still in my longest relationship, and it's really complicated actually because we don't really know when we really was official, but we've been friends since junior high school, since 5th grade. We've been best friends, and that's probably the reason why we're still together, because we have this relationship where we can speak to each other as just friends, and we communicate about certain things. Me, I'm not the biggest on communication, and he sometimes doesn't like that, but where I lack, he picks up. So, and that happens even here in school. If I'm bad at math and he's good at math, he'll do my math homework and I'll do his project. Because
Nori, this you? Nori, she bad?
the main thing that keeps us going is having a balance, which I think is really important for everyone. Have a balance. If you can't do something and he can't help you, maybe that's not the person for you, and vice versa.
Yes! Have you ever been cheated on? Or have you ever been the cheater? And if so, just explain to us exactly how that went.
I have been cheated on, and I've cheated multiple times.
Why you just didn't break up with her? Like,
instead of cheating.
Instead of cheating, like you said, you told her what you wanted to do.
I told you I communicated with her that I didn't want to be in a relationship with her more. I wanted to
So
be
she was
out.
okay with you cheating?
Yeah, it was communicated. So like.
You cheated.
Let's respect it. It happened.
After you communicated to her that she didn't want to be in a relationship, at that point she in a relationship by herself. Period. She standing on her own. So that's not cheating. You was doing you, and you was single, and you was doing you.
We wanted to get. Oh, you wanted to say something?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say I completely agree with her. And the way I communicate, I'm a very blunt person, so I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I'm gonna say straight up, hey, that's what I want to do. And if you don't respect it, that's on you. And we do have to define like what is considered cheating in a relationship. Because just because I might have sex with somebody, not everybody. That might not necessarily be cheating.
I'ma just comment for you. Cheating is cheating. Period. So here's the thing: sex is cheating. Being mentally attached is cheating. Shit, texting is cheating. It's The question is, would you rather your man cheat and just have sex and that's it? Like, okay, he went to a party, he in college, he had everything. Or would you rather it be somebody he's talking on the phone to all the time? Somebody
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
All right, so you said having sex with another person in a while you're in a relationship isn't cheating, right? That's what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my thing.
So I feel like the disconnect is that women can't have sex with people without not obtaining feelings.
No, not all.
No, I'm saying that's what the conception is. Just because women have sex with other people doesn't mean that you automatically develop an emotional attachment. So my question is, if your girl does the same thing in a relationship, how would you feel?
I can't feel no. I can't feel no. I've been in a situation where I communicated with like her, and I don't even want to know. If you do it, that's on you. But I don't want to know.
I was in a relationship. This was like senior year, going into college. My boyfriend actually cheated on me first. I guess I was very vengeful, and some moves that I probably shouldn't have done. Yeah, I know.
My thing is, it's like when a man cheats, it's like bad, like the world over, you hear me? But it's like when a female cheats, she do it out of spite or out of revenge. Like at the end of the day, like just get out of the relationship.
It was not out of revenge or spite, it was by choice. It was.
It's on a choice, baby.
I was back in LA, was in with a couple of my friends, and we was having a good time. And then things led to another, and it happened. I mean, for me, I just feel like I accept it, it happened, we move on. I don't feel like it's something that needs to be addressed because he wasn't involved in the situation. If he asked me if I cheated, I would say, yeah.
A lot of men cheat and get caught because you're reckless.
That just proves my whole theory of what I thought the whole time. That men and women
actually both be cheating almost equally. Women just a lot more slick with it, you get what I'm saying? So like, that just tell you that like, if a man cheats, that's because he got like a gut instinct that the woman is cheating.
We were on a break. The people, well, not the people, the person I was with, you know, we were chilling, we were cool, it happened. I take accountability for the situation.
I just feel like basically on the basis of honesty in a relationship, the same way, I forgot who said it, but somebody was like the inkling, like if you feel like somebody's cheating, that's when you step out. So it's like, if you felt like I was stepping out on you, and at that point you asked me a question, and I decided to be honest with you and be like, okay, yes, I cheated on you at this point, then that's where the honesty is portrayed. But if there's already a break occurring, which means that we were not seeing eye to eye and I made a mistake, and we're trying to work back, why would I put us in a situation or a predicament to argue again about what I did when we weren't together?
My problem with cheating is that when you cheat and you constantly cheat and other people are cheating, you're creating a cycle. And then when you find what you're looking for, you want someone with no baggage, someone who doesn't have trust issues, someone who hasn't been hurt before. So it's like you started the cycle of cheating and now you're looking for someone with a clean slate who's never experienced these things, and then you know how to love them, but then you gotta heal somebody who's been hurt.
What does stepping out mean to you, and what advice do you have to everyone in the room from your personal belief? Or if you learned something?
All right, stepping out to me means you building a whole nother relationship in a sense with somebody else while you already in one. That's what I consider stepping out. Not just sex, not just texting, but you building this whole extra relationship outside of your own that you're in at the current moment. Okay. And something that I want to tell everybody is when you in these relationships, make sure you're not just going off of what your friends say, what your family say, how you grew up, but make sure you actually doing things that actually make you happy. So, like, we got to start thinking outside of this tradition thing, like to where it's okay for, like y'all say, it's okay for men to cheat, but it's not okay for women to cheat, or it's okay for men to have multiple sex partners, but it's not okay for women to have multiple sex partners. So I'm just saying, just step outside those traditions and those norms that we grew up on, if that's what makes you feel happy.
Outside of the guidelines and expectations that you and your significant other have already set for each other. So my advice would be going into things like don't hold off on saying what you want. Don't hold off on being completely clear, being completely crystal clear about what you want, what you don't want, what I want to see you doing, what I don't want to see you doing. Because I mean, when you don't do that, the little slightest thing that they do, all hell is finna break loose. He was walking with that girl, oh nah, he's cheating on me. Like, it's really that deep for some people. So I would say before, like in those first beginning stages when you can tell you're really feeling somebody and you can really see it going serious, check and see where their head is at to see if they're matching, your level, of emotion and of feelings. Set some guidelines in there. Be completely clear about what y'all want, what y'all want and what y'all don't want. And then if y'all are really both feeling each other as much as y'all say y'all do, it shouldn't be a problem.
For a successful, committed relationship, would definitely be consistency, communication, and consideration. A lot of people put love, loyalty, and honesty, but I really sat back and thought about it because communication inherits you telling me the truth, right? You taking the time out to communicate how you feel, what's going on, stuff like that. Consideration is basically you taking into account also how I would feel about your actions, right? So they kind of already gets away with the honesty portion of it because you're taking everything about how I would feel about something that you would do. And then consistency, right? Consistency is the one thing where basically you're saying it's not wavering, right? It's not like our love wavering. It's not like here and there. It's like it pretty much stays the way it was from the beginning. I believe that the way it starts day one, the way I treat you, the way I love you, the way I express emotions should never die out. So that fire that you had at the beginning should be consistent. And it does take effort to maintain it, but it is one of those things that I strongly believe in for my relationship.
I want to use them as an example. They said they communicate a lot, and that you guys essentially like balance each other out at the end of the day. It's like if you don't do something, who helps you? it's like it's a team effort in a sense. If that person's not dedicated to you, it's no need for y'all to be together. You have to learn to love yourself before you love somebody else.
Yes.
Essentially.
If you want your relationship to be as great as it can be, you have to spiritually align yourself and spiritually know like what you're trying to get out of it. You know, like for me personally, I don't go into a relationship without knowing that, you know, I feel like I can marry you. That's just me. That's just me. It may be different for everybody else, but for me, I don't take the time out to pursue anybody if I don't feel like I can grow or be in a marriage with you. Because at that point, I'm not wasting my time to try to be with everybody, you know? And there's a lot of guys that may come up and try to approach you, whatever. But if you know yourself, and you know your self-worth, and you know that you love yourself enough to not compromise yourself, why wouldn't you align yourself in a position where you have the guy greet you at where you're at so that you guys can grow together? And that's for both men and women. Just once you spiritually align yourself and you really know the values that you have, the guy will come. Focus on whatever you got going on. Be your best you. Be your best self in all that you can be. Because at that point, when you're at your peak, that man or that female or whatever companion is going to meet you where you are, and y'all going to elevate together and be the next, I don't even want to say Bonnie and Clyde, you're going to be better than that. But that's what I'm saying.
Thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all got something out of that. Follow Breaking the Cycle on Instagram. If you haven't, if you can subscribe to my channel, that'd be dope. More content is on the way. Peace and blessings. I'm out.
Good fame, everybody know my name when I come through. But don't nobody screaming like you. I was having visions with you, doing things, switching lanes in the Beamer with you. And swimming in deep water, save me from my sorrows. Swimming in deep, just some pieces I need. So why can't I give that for free? Tell me I can trust you. Don't die. I can really use it. I could use your life, baby. Tell me I can trust you.